Hail, hail, and welcome to A Celtic World North America. We are part of a Celtic World YouTube channel, which puts the spotlight on the worldwide Celtic support. On this show, we try to bring a bit of a North American perspective to everything that's going on at the club right now, or lack of goings on at the moment, if you're being honest. Feel like there's more and more questions every week, and not many answers coming in. Only thing we get sorted lately are kit releases. We're well on top of that game. Those are coming out fast and furious. But everything else is moving as slow as Kasper Schmeichel diving to his left to try and make a save. But yeah, it's genuinely for me starting to get scary because I was sure that they were going to do something to make up for what was a poor start to the season, great end to last season. And while these early preseason friendlies, they mean next to nothing, yesterday's really didn't quell any fears. So let's dig into it and welcome in our guest tonight. First things first, Chris. Chris, how we doing?
Well, doing all right. Pretty good. Not bad. England got beat.
Yeah, that's reason to celebrate. And there's lots of comments already. I'll throw them up in a second. That's the big news of the day.
Yeah.
And then Dr. J from Myrtle Beach. Welcome back.
Don't get me out. I wasn't rooting against England that hard. I didn't even watch the game, so there you go.
Yeah, I didn't either, but still.
Yeah.
It's a good
I did not watch, and strictly because I've watched 3 games in this World Cup. 2 of them were the last 2 England games, and they won against Mexico and Norway. So I felt like it was the old kind of Rangers jinx that I would give if I would turn them on, particularly when they were leading or when somebody's got a lead on them. Ooh, I watch them lose, and then the second you turn it on, equalizer. And so I wasn't having that against my conscience today, so I did not watch, and I just checked the score at the end and happily let my family know, because I know they've been following along on my England hatred this whole World Cup. And so I didn't get to do anything. My neighbor across the street has his England flag hanging up, even though he's German, and I think he just has it up to fuck with me. So
aren't they the same? Aren't they all related?
Yeah, I guess
roughly.
So.
Just curious.
But yeah, before we get into it, let's throw up some comments. San Fran, he's always with us.
Hell.
420, another one. And then Milky Moo, of course. It is all the regulars in there right now, which is great. We love our regulars. And Alan in Texas. It's good to have you guys on. I threw that one on by mistake, but yeah. So we could kind of jump into. Let's start off with Celtic because we are a Celtic related show, but just still not a lot happening. Last week we were on Wednesday, and the Duran signing wasn't official, but it was pretty much official. So we knew that was happening. So then you got in a week, really nothing has happened. Chris, what's your thoughts on it? Just how slow they're moving?
I want to believe that there's there's a part of it that you have to deal in reality, and that it's completely out of your control. There's nothing that you can do about it, and you're not making those deals. You're not on the phone with agents yourself doing it, right? So I have a pretend fantasy that there's people in the building that are making phone calls and calling agents, and they're working out numbers, and they're doing all that thing. The truth of the matter is that I don't know what's happening. I know that at it's moving at a glacial snail pace, and I would think that if you heard anything that's happening, you would have heard something else by now, right? But at the same time, I'm not surprised. I don't know why anybody would be surprised, because we have a track record of slogging through making deals. So, I mean, there's a part that I just have to remove myself from, that basically, they're not getting business done because I'm not getting in. I'm not helping them do it fast enough, right? So, but I don't know, man. I'm glad that we got the Camilo Duran signed. I mean, he looks like a player. But I want more to happen. It made me kind of a little bit scared, maybe. I don't know if scared's the right word, but seeing Ingles in the lineup yesterday, that what if we keep Ingles, right? Or what if Dyson doesn't leave? What if? And that's kind of where I take it and leave it, and I have to back up myself and go, as much as I want these things to happen, and players coming in and the ones that are leaving to go ahead and go, and X, Y, and Z, nothing's ever going to be to the way that I would want it, that you would want it, that most of the Celtic support would want things to happen. So just deal in reality a little bit, that maybe not, not everything is as rosy as it seems, or as bad as it seems, because we just don't know.
True. And I mean, that's been a pretty constant thing that comes up weekly for us, is the lack of communication from the club. You don't get any updates at all as to what's going on, and which is frustrating. And that maybe that might quell some of these fears, like that, we do have things in the works, and like it's coming, so be patient, but we don't get any of that. So, but I don't know, Doc, what do you think? Am I crazy for
I think
thinking that things should have been done already?
Well, here's the issue that we're in, right? If you read the comments below, XYZ youth team member signed with somewhere in England, or signed, or Bendo, or the Vada kid, or blah blah, all these other kids, right? There's always the complaint that, we don't have a pathway for the kids to get through the first team, and then we complain that we don't sign anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of those things that we have to really, we don't have to do anything. I'm just saying, it just leads us to the situation where it's kind of like you're torn in both directions. Like, I think, Chris, you and I, oh God, how many times have we talked about this before in the past? How many times would you like to see all 11 have numbers in the 70s?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? and how cool would that be, that all the numbers would be like 48, 73, 92, 81, 49, 59, 59, 69. It would be really cool if those were all the numbers, right?
Right.
And but you also, like, well, wait a minute, we have $100 million in the bank, so it's one of those situations where it's really, really tough. I would like to see that happen, right? That would be really cool. But I do think there's a prudent way to go ahead and mix in a group of players with a group of we'll call it experienced heads. That said, spend some fucking money, guys. Let's go. I'm sick and tired of this shit. I tried to be nice. I'm done. I can't. We do this. I mean, I keep replaying that clip on YouTube where the guy told Wawa, "Get your fucking wallet out." Channeling my inner drunken Glaswegian. But seriously, we're stuck in that. We're stuck in that repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And it's hard. I mean, as you want kids to get through, and I'm going to put that positive spin on it, knowing I'll get flamed in the comments for that. But I mean, that's what we want, right? We want those numbers to get up, but we also want to win, and and yeah, and spend some money.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're going to be you're good cop tonight. You're going to be taking...
How many years have you known me to be the good cop in this situation? Like all of them. I'm trying to be the positive person here.
Well, good. I mean, that's usually Chris's role, I feel like. But
what are you saying? I'm negative now?
No, I'm saying we can both be negative tonight.
Okay. Well,
Be bad cop.
Bad cop.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's too many cogs in the wheel sometimes. You know what I mean? Like there's too many things, and the one thing that we need to address the most is the communication that we get, because I mean, you know, we can spend the next hour and a half discussing players that we want to bring in, but Dermot's not calling me. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. I loved you were talking before, like we were talking before the show. Like you saw rumors of him selling his shares, and I got all excited. But yeah, like I don't think we could be that lucky. Which is, but just, I mean, I don't know.
Well, to be fair, to bring the youth players through, not spend any money, increase the cash value. I mean, that would make sense if he was going to.
Yeah, true.
Increase cash holdings. I mean, that's one way. Another way to spin it, but that still leaves you in a position where someone's going to have to come in, not with cash to pay off debt, but to actually pay people off so that, you know, they make their profit back. I think I read something. I think he spent $30 million. And I think he's only got $9 million back in dividends so far since he's owned. So he's still $20 million in the hole for what he's put into the team to take over. So, you know, he'd have to, you know, you're gonna have to buy everything, and you're gonna have to go ahead and, you know, take the cash receipts, and you're gonna have to pay off, you know, what you owe him. Hey man, I mean, if I hit the lottery this weekend in LA when I was out there, I mean, it would have been great to go ahead and take $500 million and come out, tell Desmond, listen, here's $300 million, get the fuck, and then let's go ahead and do this. It'd be great, but I mean, it's going to take someone. It's going to take someone with $500 million to walk in,
right,
to get him to move. And that's the. I mean, just doing my simple maths. That's what I think is going to have to happen.
I agree. Before we jump in, I'm gonna bring our fourth person in to the panel tonight. So just drop Bobby in here. Bobby.
Hey.
Hey, Sean. Sorry I'm late. I was doing some running around.
You only found out about it like 2 minutes before the show.
Sorry, buddy. I was doing something.
It's all good.
I told you you could always count on me. You could.
I know. That's why I messaged you. So, yeah, I'll bring you right into it, Bobby. We were just talking about the lack of anything happening at the club outside of kit releases and shoe releases and different kind of Adidas merchandise releases. I mean, what am I crazy for thinking that we should have had a handful of players in the door by now?
No, but I'm probably going to repeat what's probably already been said. But this is kind of par for the course right now, hasn't it been? Over the last year and a half. Ultimately,
Bobby, did you take 10.5 years? Sorry, man.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Sorry.
I don't know about that. Maybe it's certainly over the last year. It's been terrible. But they've drugged their foot in the past. It's strange because being Celtic, you don't want to. If too much, oftentimes, Sean, particularly in the past, agents have used teams, you know, in the hierarchy of power in European football. The Celtics sometimes sets about in the middle, and so what's happened in the past, and I've read it before, is they sort of use Celtic as a leverage. So if there's news that Celtic's in for a guy, I think teams like Celtic need to keep it quiet. But in the same instance, I think we probably at this point probably should have had some stuff over the line, but dragging the feet, it's been par for the course over the last 18 months. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they're slow to do everything. Slow to hire managers. Slow to identify players. Slow to. I mean, you take like Engels and Dyson, kind of are probably our two most valuable properties right now. Like Engels, you knew he was probably going to be out the door because he had a big offer in January. So it makes sense that you're going to end up selling him probably during this window.
Yeah.
If they don't have a replacement in line for him pretty much immediately when he goes out the door, again, it's just criminal. Like, because like there's no.
You can say the same about. You can say the same. Yeah, you can say the same about Dyson, Sean, as well.
I mean, there
has to be replacements for him coming in, and the trick has always been, always. And I remember distinctly when Larson left. You're not going to get like for Larson, but part of the process is okay. And that's a sell to European guys who don't have a connection to Scotland, don't have a connection to Celtic is, look, we'll put you in a window. You get to play European football if we do well. And the big clubs will come knocking if you show for me here. And it's always, that's that model. It's the Van Dijk model. Wanyama, O'Reilly. I don't know if there's someone to sell that to players now. I don't know. I don't know who's there. That's the other thing. We don't know who the hell's doing anything. We don't know anything from anything. But hey, those are cool jerseys.
Yeah, that's what I also want to comment. And it is like we're and I've heard people say it. We're a merchandise club with a sporting wing, kind of, that tries to sell the merchandise, really. And the more that happens, the more you believe that.
A merchandising club like no other.
Just
I did see that.
It's good. I wish that was pretty good.
And then like that, this is slathering cabbage, and that's 100% they're pushing a watch today this week, and I saw I think it was Osmond. I don't even remember the name of the watch company, but Osmond was wearing a jersey and I think had the watch on. I was like, ooh, and it had the name of the company on the back. I'm like, ooh, who's this guy? I'm like, oh no, it's just another merchandise. And a watch.
To be fair, that is the one person they did bring in that they did announce, right? The one person they added to Celtic's entire, the club was, we brought in a new marketing person. That one was announced. So, and listen, if they're going to do what they said they're going to do, he's doing the job.
We did bring in a set piece coach too, so which I do think that's probably a good move. But you can probably give him credit for that, I guess. But so I mean, in turn, like, it really is like the kits are great. Like, I haven't bought one in a couple of years. They're great to look at. The one they were wearing on the other day, was that yesterday did they play?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday against Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, it's beauty. And then the away top that they put out a video for and a release with like Alistair Johnson talking about it. Yeah, it's beautiful, but like I don't know. People are buying them, obviously, probably not as many as normally would. But I guess it becomes a question. I'll go to Chris. I'll go to you first. Like, in terms of the no buying new merchandise protest, what does the club have to do to end that? Basically, it's kind of
start communicating with the support. I mean, like what are the aims and objectives of the the wider support? The board has to realize these things that we've been arguing about, and the collective's kind of taking the mantle for is that we want this clarity. We want communication. We want fan media. We want, open dialogue about, the standing section, or the Celtic end, or any other, Celtic support based ideas of making things better. I mean, we could drub on and on about the support, right? But it's the people that make those decisions that are going to have to let those things happen and, deflect to the support, because we're the ones that buy all the merch. We're the ones that, sing the praises of Celtic Football Club from the rafters across the world. I mean, like, that's the thing that I don't get is that, like, why is there not fan media at press conferences anymore? Most of last season, why did they stop that? Well, they stopped it, right? Made no communication as to why the reasoning was. Made no sense as us as the support are asking these things of these people, and they're just like, that was a meeting, and we don't like it, and you're gonna have to buy this new Adidas kit, right? And everybody's like, you know what? I'm not buying anything else. And to that point, I haven't. The only thing that I still do is I do have Celtic TV or Celtic Player, but that's like renewing your season tickets, right? Like that is my season ticket for watching Celtic. So when it came time to renew that, I just, I waited to the last day, just like the rest of everybody else that waited to the last day to renew their season tickets. And I did the same thing. But that's my connection to watching Celtic, and that's something for me, right? Like that. Like I don't want that to become a thing that I take away because I don't have another option. And I think that's where a lot of people are with this, is that, like, we can resolve some of the issues, whatever they are. But if you're not willing to at least engage with the support, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, those three kits, all three of them, I would buy all three of them. They're great. The some of the training tops and the jackets and the shoes, like it's all spectacular, right? It's all the Adidas stuff that we've talked about for years. Like, oh man, this is going to be right, and it looks fantastic, but I'm not buying it.
Same. Doc, how about you? What does the club have to do to kind of, in your mind, end this protest in terms of buying stuff and boycotting?
I think when it comes to boycotting, I think nothing is more loud than silence. I don't interact with them anymore. I don't like posts. I just silent, just scroll by. And I think that would probably infuriate or scare them more than, why are you selling me another kit? The truth about kits is this, man. They've been planned for 4, 5, 6 years in advance. Like, who I feel bad for, this whole, like, not buy another penny thing, the Henrik Larsson things. He's getting a piece of that. And all of that was planned how many years ago? This anniversary thing, that was planned how many years ago? And then all of a sudden it comes out now in the middle of this dry period. And it sucks, but it's like, oh, doesn't someone pay attention to the room? Dude, this is way above your pay grade for you to be so stupid to say something so fucking dumb. Why did you do that now? Because it's been planned for 3 fucking years. That's why. So grow the fuck up and understand business. Now, moving on. Ignore them. Don't give them a penny. Just ignore them. And as someone in business, when I put something out there and someone tries to steal it or tries to yell at me about it, then I know they're paying attention. If I put it out there and I get no traction at all, then I'm worried that I'm not doing anything that's worth having. And that's where they're going to be. But they got the ticket money, right? And they get interaction, And so there, until that changes, until that changes, they're going to continue what they do. What's going to end that?
Yeah, I know it's tough to put like a
Well, let me put it
dollar
this way.
amount or
Yeah, it's not just dollar
amount of
let's put it this way.
players.
Let's say they buy 8 guys, right? And 7 suck. You think this is going to change?
Not yet.
No.
I mean, it's probably a mix of bringing in a certain number of players mixed with results on the field, qualifying for the championship.
There you go. Let's put it this way. Let's go back a few years. Let's go back to the COVID season, right? When that no one wants to talk about. Okay. Oh, Dermot did. Law will let us down. And he goes, do you know how much they spent that year? They spent like 30-some million pounds that year to bring players in. They suck. John Joe Kenny. Okay. They were not very good, right? But they spent that money. Who was the center back? The center back from Ireland that they brought as well.
Shane Duffy.
Yeah, they spent a ton of money that year. And what happened? Their doors blew up. It was what it was, right? It wasn't that they didn't spend money, but even though they did spend money, what happened? So it's not just that they're going to spend money and people are going to go away happy. It's going to have to be, you're going to have to get me, you have to spend money, you have to bring me people that I want to see, right? And then you're going to go ahead and have to get results. And then after you start communicating with me, then I'll go ahead and pay attention. And now I'll give you my attention, which means give you my money as well. So until those things change, it's just like spending money is not going to make it. It just isn't.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a multi, there's a lot of probably factors involved. And like winning the league last season, amidst, everything that happened in terms of having 4 managers, not bringing much in before Champions League. And I think that was probably the biggest thing that kind of initiated the whole protest was the Kairat Almaty ties that really pissed off the fan base. I mean, Bobby, what do you think was the catalyst, I guess, for how that
not getting into Europe, not getting into the Champions League when you had a team from Kazakhstan. I'm fascinated I thought that was Asia. I didn't know.
I mean, it practically is.
knowing just knowing the history of Sean, I think fan reaction, I may have talked to you about it. I remember when we were in Philly and I was either Jason or David, maybe it was you, but talked about how empty the place looked. That Dundee match, the cup match where they scored in the last second. Fans stay away. And then they, out in front there, out front doors, let people know how you feel. And Celtic supporters are good at that. We're a lot better at it than the morons across the street. But let them know, make them aware. And at the end of the day, it's strange because there's this love figure in Martin O'Neill. So it would be great if there was a Celtic, the board, and then the hate figure manager. That would make it way too easy for the support. But unfortunately, there's Martin O'Neill that's there. And so it was kind of a weird thing. And then we ended up winning the league. So it was it's almost a double-edged sword sometimes, but it's tough. I don't know. I think staying away, make it count and hit them in the wallet, and then let them know and protest and make your voice heard. I think when you boycott, when you keep away from products, you send a message, and that needs to be louder, probably. You know, they played it perfectly, though. I mean, when I say they, the Celtic board they got Martin O'Neill, who was a loud figure. When things started heating up and really PR looking really, really bad and then they brought the Green Brigade back, and it was this, and then we got on that roll at the end, and then we won the damn league. But factually, nothing really changed, and the ethos of the club, or of this board, I should say, I shouldn't say the club, but this board seems to not really care about what people think. They seem to not have enough ambition, which I think is the very least. I think we're all of us, we're looking for ambition, and we don't see that. So it's a tough time.
No, agreed. And I'll throw up this. I saw this post on Twitter, I think it was. And we had talked about it in weeks past, like that when Martin O'Neill signed back on, he must have gotten assurances that the club was going to spend. And seemingly from his comments here, it's that's not the case. And almost that he trusts Dermot Desmond just to kind of make whatever happen. I don't know, Chris, did you see that? And like, what's your thoughts on that? That's another thing that's worrying to me. Like that, I would have thought he had some kind of assurances.
Well, I mean, I would think that what little I know of Martin O'Neill as a person, he strikes me as the type of person that would he would be like me in I know this guy, I trust him, he's asking me to do this and this, and I'm fine to do that. I think that's kind of just Martin O'Neill as a person, just being like, you know what, the Celtics not going to let me down, and maybe that's all he needed. But I mean, to your point, I would think that anybody would need to know, like, hey, I'm going to get to spend money, but maybe that was just good enough for Martin O'Neill, and at some point you just have to kind of trust Martin O'Neill in that, I guess. That he feels confident that no matter what comes down the road, that he's going to be able to have that assurance without actually having that assurance in writing or whatever. I don't know. Let's stab in the dark at that.
Right. Doc, what do you think of that? I mean, would you have thought that he would only come back if he had
but I also know,
chest?
Yeah, I do understand that. But I mean, I was married once before, and I told her I would love her forever. So that kind of didn't happen. So I mean, shit changes, man. That's how it works, right?
I can relate.
Just say, I mean, it's one of those situations that that's what we would assume. You would assume that if I bring someone in to run the football side of a marketing company, that they would understand exactly what the story is. But maybe they are. And Chris, I think you hit it right on the head. But I'm gonna be the positive. Maybe they're doing it in the background, and we're just not. We just don't know.
Maybe.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like that, but it's just
it doesn't. It doesn't. As much as I want to be, but it
isn't. It isn't.
I hope it is, and I feel like Go ahead, Doc.
I'm saying. I mean, I'm always the person to say, "Well, just wait until the window closes," and that, and I can't say that this year because I don't want to wait until the window closes. Not because I'm impatient, but because I know. Listen, Dyson, right? Didn't turn it on until it was like, oh shit, I may not be playing in the World Cup. Okay, then it's like, I better turn it on. Then he turns it on. Rio shit the bed. You're looking at someone gets injured. Jonah doesn't come back. It's a messed up situation where, we didn't, next fall we end up with CCV out. God knows, hopefully he's going to, take some rust off. Then you're out a ton of time with Engels, a ton of time without AJ. It's a hard thing to
Joda.
Yeah, exactly. To sit there and go, last year, well, we thought we'd have these people. We didn't know this would happen. Okay, fine. We know now. We know what we're in for, because you're going to lose 3 or 4 guys, and we're lucky if we don't lose Alistair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're losing. It's totally different this time. You're losing.
I mean, there's even talk
totally
of
different.
McGregor leaving too. I mean, I don't know if that'll happen, but there's more the people seeming rumored to go out of the club than you almost feel like you can replace in this window. And the league starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
17
days.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. And then Champions League not too far after that.
Wow.
So I mean, there's a lot, right? And I totally missed the comment.
And the way we're placed in that Champions League, Sean, we're not getting some team from Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get somebody with a little bit more heavy pedigree, and that may be. I don't know. I looked at that a couple of months ago, but that group that we could possibly play, they're not a bunch of pushovers.
It's not super impressive, but it's bigger, better than what knocked us out last year. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'll throw out Milky Moo's comment here is 100% true. I feel like this next month, this next 30 days is more important than that month leading into the end of the transfer window.
Sean, you know why he's right? Because if we don't get the next month right, and we do get through Champions League, it will be an absolute bloodbath for all 8 of those games.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah. Let's go and get beat 5-0 by Ajax.
Yeah. Well, at least we got the Champions League money in the door that we're not going to.
Yeah, that's. Man, he's 100% correct. This next month doesn't go right, then you're looking at last minute sales, because they're going to try and get Engels. They're going to try and get Engels and probably Dies and stay until the qualifier, which gives them a week and a half, 2 weeks to get rid of them and get someone else in. And we go, oh, we tried. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying, every time I put my hand over a burner and I get burned, I go, oh man, the fire's hot.
That's me. My question am I crazy? Yeah, I probably am crazy for thinking that we were going to have.
And I can also pick out patterns as an adult.
I mean, I love the club, but it frustrates the fuck out of me. So, but
never a truer word.
Last year was great, wasn't it?
No,
high blood pressure.
The last 5 minutes, not even the last 43 seconds.
Right.
As Kalinazzo went down the other end. That was the finally enjoyable part.
I think I've watched that 100 times.
God, at least. I feel like it almost brings me to tears every time I watch it, which is kind of weird. Even now, after I've watched it 1,000 times, God, this play still makes me emotional. Because I just remember the moment. I think that it was such a outpouring of relief, and it just lasted so long. Like we said, we were celebrating a goal 10 seconds before it happened, and celebrating that we had won the league 10 seconds before the actual play happened, which was it was just a bizarre way to end the season. And it was great, but God, that season was a brutal watch.
I tell you, Sean, and there's a school of thought that I think that it might have been the worst thing.
Yeah, and that question did come up a lot, and I know I can't remember who guest.
Yeah, but that was like towards the end of the season. We were definitely saying that. Like, what would this be worse if we actually won the league?
Yeah.
Because then it just shows that.
Then you're just
like,
kicking
hey,
it down. You're kicking
yeah,
the can down the street. You don't.
we
We
can't fix anything.
we're sitting here pissing and moaning about the same issues we were pissing and moaning at in February and the last transfer window last year.
Yeah.
It's
But
tough.
honestly, if we did lose, say we did lose the league on that last day against Hearts, like, would it change the position? Like, would that have precipitated the club to get 4 guys in the door by now, as opposed to the one we have?
That's not my point, Sean. My point, Sean. My point is that it would motivate support.
Mhm.
I don't think
Okay.
my
Fair
point
enough.
is that it would motivate support. It would keep people out of the stands. It would, you're talking about boycotting merchandise, protesting in front of Celtic Park.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would. I think I told you. I said it picture perfect. They did a great job. Their PR was fantastic. They got Martin O'Neill. The guy can walk on water with Celtic supporters. And just as things were starting to turn sour, you bring back the Green Brigade, and then the results started kicking in. And let's get it behind the boys and let's do it. And of course, that's what you should. But I think ultimately, if it went pear shaped, then I hate to say. I don't know. Who knows? But there may be, it may have been the worst thing. Could not have. I don't know if they're going to be pushed. I think all of this has to come from the support, and then when it comes to the support, they need to react to it. They seem like they're doing nothing right now.
Agreed. But I'll throw up smell the glove. And this is true. I mean, I feel bad that we're still kind of rehashing last season, but I feel like the club kind of forced our hand a little bit in that regard. But yeah, like
you almost have to. You have to rehash last year because there was nothing, and there was nothing in that sporting match that.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Except those 8 seconds with Camilo Duran. Come on.
That's a good segue.
Yeah, that's a gazelle waiting to happen. Look at that guy.
Yeah. Well, that was the one part. Yeah.
Did everybody get a chance to watch the friendly?
I watched some of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go to you, Chris, first. Anybody stand out to you?
Camilo Duran?
Outside of Duran.
Yeah. No, outside of Duran, no.
No.
CCV looked okay, I thought.
That's the one I was going to say too.
Dane Murray looks good in spots, but not overall. Ross Duhan, that was one of those goals that I wish didn't happen. Ingles, he looked okay, I thought. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, he looked a little slow to me. Slower than even during the end of the season last year. So that was kind of an eye opener for me. He just didn't look as fast. But again, preseason, hard to tell. No, I mean everybody kind of looked the same. It was that first half was very pedestrian. Nothing really going on. They would have spells where they were they were pressing. I actually think Balikwisha did okay in spells there in the first half for sure. He just looked like he was after it more. He looked more athletic. Osman about the same. He looked okay. Not anything spectacular, but I'll take it for run out. I mean, let's say this though. Sporting club that's a top above. Just talent wise, just even remotely close to where we are. I think that's a solid team that we played yesterday.
Yeah, I think where they have us be. I think that's probably what kind of should be. I mean, a Celtic comparable right now is what the level that probably we're seeking to be at. I mean, maybe that sounds like maybe like it's a detriment, like that. Like that's not what Celtic fans probably would used to have thought, but that's probably our level. But the one thing I noticed was the difference. I would say is their younger players just were far and above our younger players, and you saw that kind of. And maybe that kind of goes.
That was glaringly no. That was glaringly obvious. Yeah.
Slavrin Cabbage. I would agree. I mean, it wasn't. It's tough to. Like I think I said it before we started. It's tough to kind of glean anything out of those kind of games, other than it's just a chance to get guys to get their legs under them. But
to Chris's point, I think it was nice to see CCV. And he, him getting back up to 100%. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's
certainly Sturzel missed him last year.
Yeah, I mean, he looked slow on the first goal that they scored. He got beat, but that's just getting your legs back, and it was an odd positioning, I think, for him to be in that play that you don't really see him ever get into that spot where he's kind of chasing a guy down like that. But Doc, do you have any takeaways from the friendly?
Well, I mean, I want to be happy about it. I'll put it this way: I know we were a lot more happy when we saw them in the U.S. and they were beating the shit out of Chelsea and beating up on Man City. I mean, one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my life, or ever said out loud, was, "Are you Rangers in disguise?" While we were beating up on Man City. That was one of the. I mean, that was the best. And I remember like all the Man City fans that are actually the soccer moms in Raleigh that were at the game and just like, what do you do? I don't understand. It was just that was the most motivating time for us to go, oh, this is going to be really fun. This is going to be really good. And I don't have any of that anymore. It's taken 12 months, right? A year, right? That was 18 months. 2 years now. 2 years. That's how long it's been. I can't tell you how long it's been. It's just they've ruined all that goodwill that they had to build. They ruined it. And fine. There you go. So I would have bought stuff. Just continue with that. And so to look at it now, I see nothing that changes anything compared to what we went through last year right now. I think we're end up in if something doesn't happen in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be in the same place. Do this like the definition of insanity, right?
Yeah, it's looking like that right now.
Yeah.
You're not even seeing a whole lot of, but I don't know. Maybe that's good. I think it was you, Bobby, said like keep it on the down low.
Yeah, keep it card. Yeah, Celtic has always been used by agents to sort of push the get the most out of their agents play their games, and I think you can read a little bit into that there's little to no action, but he hit it on the head. I think the next month, you really, especially when we get the World Cup out of the way and these people go back to their places, now you got to go, and you got to pull the trigger on things and we see where we're at and make something happen.
Yeah. That'll kind of take me into the next part. Like some of the names you're seeing, and some of them are the World Cup names. You haven't seen anything really news-wise in terms of one of the guys I really want is the Motherwell guy, Elijah Just from New Zealand. And I'm sure he had, we've talked about in previous weeks, he's added, some numbers onto the transfer fee that you're going to have to pay to get him, and probably the wages you're going to have to pay him too. Which, as long as it's not exorbitant, I'm fine with it, because I do think he'll be I think he's the kind of guy who would be a stud for us. But then the other name you're seeing is the winger from Egypt, Hassan, who seems like he's going to be a little bit more of a bigger money guy. But I'm guessing Chris is still on the train, so I will. I'll go to you, Doc. Any of those rumors that are standing out for you, kind of the like guys that you would love to see for Celtic?
Listen. This way, I'll be honest. I had no idea who Virgil van Dijk was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so bring me people. Bring me heads on sticks. I don't care. Just bring me something, and let's do this. I mean, seriously. Yeah, I think last year when Alistair went down, we joked. I said it's going to be some kid from the B team who played against my son, and that's who it was. So I'm not. I mean, nothing is going to go ahead and surprise me anymore. So once that happened, I mean, nothing against Colby Donovan. I'm just saying that's what happened, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't care. Just either tell me that this kid from the youth team is good enough to play, or he's not, and bring somebody. But we think he's the guy. And if he's that guy, then let's go.
Okay.
But I mean, listen, man, it all goes back to the same thing. Just tell me what the hell's going on. Just let me be on the same page with you.
Yeah,
that sounds stupid, but that's it.
Yeah, you were starting to get a little more communication towards the end of the season from Brian Wilson in terms of like of a somewhat just like every 3-4 weeks maybe a little bit of a statement. But I mean, you never hear from the CEO from Nicholson. Like I don't know what the hell he does. But in terms of signings and like Bobby said, maybe it is good to keep your like that kind of stuff under wraps, but maybe at least getting out there and saying, look, we got guys identified. We're in it's, in the works, but instead you're hearing rumors on social media, Celtic has identified this guy and the joke always is like there are all the different phrases that people use to say that we're looking at somebody, but it's nothing ever happens with it. But Chris, is there any names rumors wise that you have seen that interest you?
There's three of them that are, well, I guess technically four of them that really shouldn't be that hard to figure out, right? So you have Julian Araujo. We've been linked again with him. I think that's a no-brainer. Srirachi, I think that's a no-brainer. Kalichi Niacho, sure, why not? Come on, right? All right, so that's those three, and I think the fourth one is Hassan, the Egyptian winger. I saw very very little of him outside of like half of the World Cup match that I saw with Egypt, but I mean he looks like a player. By all accounts that I've read, but that's just four, and that's probably not even 10 million. Like, if we sell Ingles, if we sell Maeda, if we sell anybody else, if McGregor leaves, and you're talking about adding another 5 or 6 players on top of that, that's at least 25 mil, if not more, right? And what was the number that we threw out a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Sean? When we were expecting 50 million.
I said 50. Yeah, I said they have to spend 50 million.
But I mean, what?
I was called crazy.
What if AJ leaves? I mean, those are big questions, and I at least want known quantities in the door. Whether we had them last year with Srirachi and Iniacho and Araujo, those would be great because I know that they're known quantities. That's the only thing. But I'm like Doc. I mean, I just bring me bodies on sticks. Like, I don't care. Like, I want to see how we do when we start, bringing in actual talent, right? And then, because it's always going to rise to the surface. Everything will always rise to the surface. Whether a guy's great, we're all going to be, naming songs after him, right? Or he's terrible, and we're he becomes a cult hero, and we're all like, if he improves that, So it's I want deals to happen, and those are the four that I think are the easiest to happen.
Yes, you're right. So I feel like Sriracha was the biggest no-brainer in the world. Araujo, probably a better player. He's going to cost you a little more money, but Sriracha, I think, was an affordable backup / guy, left back who can start in a pinch, definitely. And almost every time he comes on, he just creates stuff. Like it just seemed obvious, but again, you don't know what stories are true. Like how. Like if they didn't even go after him, or
Sean, you know what story is true, Sean? The fact that they tried to lowball a few people that you have with the two coaches, and then ask yourself this: why haven't you signed Sriracha? Why haven't you signed Iniacho if that's really what you wanted? Do you think that you had an option, right? Yeah. You don't have to negotiate with him. You can say, "Here, you're ours for another year." Give me the reason why we didn't have that option taken up. Because they wanted to what? They wanted to renegotiate to go ahead and lower what he's getting paid.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, it's out there, right? So that's really what's out there. Then that's exactly what's going on. So they're trying to get Sriracha because he's probably on decent money when he was focused. So they'll try and go ahead. Yeah, we'd love to have you, but will you take these pennies off of us? These types of things. Now, is that good governance? To a certain extent, yes. Is it time where you're, penny, pound wise and penny foolish, or is that penny wise, pound foolish? Yeah, that penny wise, pound foolish. That happens as well. So I mean, I think you're in a situation where we're trying to look at: do we want to improve? Yes. Do I believe that those two guys are, that Araujo and Sriracha and Iniacho? Do I want to count them as new signings? No, I don't. They're not. They were here with us last year, and they got us what we got last year, which we all agreed isn't good enough. All right. If they were on that team that wasn't good enough, then what does that mean? Does that mean that we need more of them, or does that mean that we need other people to replace who was here? So, I think you're going to get out. You're going to as Martin said, where you end up is where you deserve to be.
Yeah. Bobby, is there any players in Scotland that you would be interested?
You took my thunder. I liked it. I like the kid from Motherwell. And you like you said, I think because of the World Cup, that price will probably go up. Well, not probably, it obviously will. But I like him. But to me, man, more than anything, and it may be a tall task, but get a goddamn goal scorer. Get a goal scorer. Can we get a goal scorer, a guy that take the ball and put it in the net? Can we get that guy? And where's that guy at? That's.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the other stuff is important. I think we do our business in the transfer market, but can we identify, go out and get a goal scorer? Is Kyogo out there somewhere? I'm saying like a Kyogo. Is that guy out there?
I saw that rumor again this week. I was like,
I don't give a shit about. I know
what you're saying, but people are still talking about him. Like,
how old is Kyogo? Isn't he like 30, like 31?
30?
So.
That sounds right.
I would say he's a little less than that, but yeah, not. But still, I do not want him.
No.
as much as he makes my wife watch Celtic because she loved
31.
him, I would. Is he? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It'll be
so,
32 in January.
Oh, yeah. Like, no, definitely not.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what you want.
He's older. Ready? He's almost 3 years older than Indiacho.
Wow.
He just turned 29.
Iheanacho just plays older.
I think he carries
Yeah.
Kyogo with him, like on his back carries, like physically carries.
But yeah, and then Smell the Glove, just from Motherwell, Mulligan from Hibs. That's another name that keeps popping up. Chiwa from Hibs, another one that you'll see from time to time. And Elliot Watt from Motherwell is one. Outside of that, I can't really think of anybody else who really in Scotland who seems to have drawn any interest. I mean, maybe something like, some young guy.
There certainly isn't a wow factor. There are none of them. There's no wow factor. And
yeah, I mean, I was just going about like Mulligan was hurt a lot, I think, last season, from what I remember. And Chiwa played well against us, and that's probably why a lot of people remember him, because he bossed our midfield, which wasn't difficult to do last season, the way we were playing. So, but yeah, I would go back, like Chris, you said, Hassan. That's a name that excites me. I think he's going to cost. I think he will end up costing like Engels money, almost close to like Celtic record signing level money to get him in the door.
Can we talk about that for a second? Can we talk about oh my God, we signed someone on Engels money for what, 11, 12?
11, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
2 years later, you're talking about getting 25 or 30 million for him.
Yeah.
Why not fucking do it again? Why not do it 3 more times? Why not do it 5 more times? Why not do it 11 more fucking times?
I've been saying that for weeks.
Once.
Yeah, that's what I said. Use that as a model. Like that worked. And I don't know how old Hassan is. Just as a young guy, and he may end up costing you now, like where you may, like he wasn't going to sign before the World Cup because he knew he was playing in the World Cup and knew he could probably increase his value. But
you could kick the tires with Braga, see what Hearts wants.
I've seen his name pop up for the Huns, but
that guy looks like a Hun.
He does.
He's not a very handsome. No. As much as a Portuguese guy could be a Hun, I guess.
I didn't.
But there was remember Nacho. Remember you talking about Hun?
Yeah.
Remember Nacho? No, there's a Hun.
Yeah. He was 100%. I didn't know. Elliot Watch at Smell the Glove says he's very staunch. So I don't know if that takes him out of the running to come in, but
no, definitely don't.
It definitely knocks him down the wish list a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I guess like Chris, you said watching. I mean, we didn't really talk too much last week because Camilo Duran wasn't officially in the door. We got a chance to see him yesterday. I mean, how do you feel about him as a signing?
I mean,
and what role do you think he'll starter or?
Oh yeah.
I mean, the way they looked last night. I mean, if that was him just getting over a stomach bug the night before, the guy gets on and is running people down like Dyson Maeda. I mean, that I like that. I mean, he just gets after it. That's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. I mean, because even his goal that he scored. I mean, he just was quicker to the ball than that center back was, and put it in the back of the net, and then was like, let's do it again. I mean, there were some good things that I saw with Duran. Is he going to start? Hard to say. Depends on if you bring anybody else in.
Yeah.
That he would have to compete for that spot. I've also heard that he's also reliable on the wings, so that maybe you could put him out wide, and then maybe I think I think one of the things that, during the Ange era, and the remnants of Ange era, right, where we had Daisa Maeda and Kyogo and Jota out on the other side, right, and they were there. There was a time that they were completely interchangeable between the top three, right? Like you could drop Dyson in the middle and Kyogo out wide and Jota over here, and then you just kind of pick and choose like who was going to play one of those three roles, right? Well, there could be something to some formational changes. Like Scales, for example. Scales played most of the match yesterday at left back. Is he going to play left back or is he going to play center back? I don't know. Maybe they're thinking of moving Scales to left back full time with him and KT, and Dane Murray will now be your center back, or Austin Trusty, or whatever. But I think in changing formations, having players that can play either up top or in the number 10 or out wide, I think that's going to be a benefit. But ultimately, there's no way for me to know where he's going to, play at. But yeah. I would, just basing off yesterday, I would say he would be up top, Callum Osman, rotational.
Yeah, I mean, it was more is he a Celtic starting level kind of player? You don't know that right now, I guess, in terms of who is on the side, because we haven't made any moves, and there's seemingly more people leaving the club than there are coming in at this moment. But so yeah, I mean, I definitely liked what I saw of him yesterday, and watching, and again, it's one of those things you can't put a lot of stock in, is watching the YouTube videos. But scoring 5 goals in the Champions League, that's a good result, and that's the kind of player I feel like we need to be bringing in.
And that was on the back foot most of the time as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Or a Karabag, who's not going to be at the top levels of the Champions League group stage, or whatever they call it, league stage. So the 5 goals in 10 games or whatever it is, that's a good return for. And that's the kind of player we need to be looking at. And I know Brady put his name up before, the guy from Bodo Glimt, who keeps coming up as a name that Celtic might bring in as a striker. But again, is coming to Celtic a step down from Bodo Glimt these days? I don't know, because they're a team that actually seemingly gets some results in Europe lately.
Yeah, and does he want to come here?
Yeah, I mean, it's becoming, I guess, less and less of a ideal destination to play at. But still, I feel like playing in front of 60,000 fans most weeks, and then those Champions Leagues, which hopefully we're in again this year, that can be a selling point. But I would love to get the Hassan guy from Egypt. He looked like he was a player, and a creative winger, which I think is the kind of guy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We need. Mm-hmm. I guess I want to move on to, and I don't know if anybody, I think a lot of people jumped into the comments today thinking we were going to be celebrating Argentina win today, and we ended up bitching about Celtic for an hour. So apologize for that, but let's raise a glass to England losing again, and it's not coming home again this year. Which, I like to take some credit for that, because I didn't watch today even as much as I wanted to watch, because I thought they would lose. But I think I was that's a jinx thing for me. But you guys, I know me and Chris, haven't been huge into watching the games, but Doc, have you watched a lot of the World Cup?
Not really. I haven't watched that many. I watched USA games, and only to see if Austin was going to play. But as we had in our group chat, I can't. Any coach, you can't tell me that Pochettino has half a brain if he plays Tim Ream. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we
I-
definitely had that in the group chat.
I can't. I said that would be the reason why we lost, and it was. But that's about all of it. I mean, obviously I watched some of the Scotland games. Some of them, some of it. I didn't watch all of it. U.S. game I watched some of those as well. I haven't really watched very much anything else other than a few minutes here or there. I'm ready. I'm ready to get the season started. Let's go. I'm tired. Like, you know why? Because you have that leg break in the Canada game, right? Imagine that's like your number one player in your team, and he fucks off, and now he's fucked off for the next 10 months because he hurt himself in the World Cup. And you weren't all into the World Cup, so now what? So now you lose your favorite player for, the World Cup. I mean, I guess I'm kind of all right, but nah, I'm done. I'm over it. It was great when there was 5 games on a day, and let's go. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm the same. Bobby, did you watch much of the World Cup?
Nah, I watched a couple of the. I don't think I watched them. I watched the Brazil, Scotland, and then when they played Haiti, I might have watched one. I watched the USA Bosnia game fully through, but bits and pieces. I think the leading up to it, just the bad press, and then that tangerine buffoon trying to get his nose into everything. It's just and I think morally, I think the game's kind of so corrupt at that level that even once they gave it to the World Cup to the Qataris, and it was all about just the money grab, and I think that the soul of whatever that was is gone for me. I don't really care, but yeah, I say that, and if I always, when I was a kid, I always loved watching Ireland. So, but if Ireland makes a run, then I'm probably right back on it. I don't know, but I couldn't. Yeah. To answer your question, sorry, Sean, not to drag it on, but I watched the Scotland games. That's about it.
Okay. Yeah, I can credit Ireland in the World Cup for getting me into Celtic. So I mean, I don't know, but even now, I don't think I would watch. I don't pay much attention to Ireland's qualifying or anything like that anymore. So, but I did. I watched 3 full games, and I watched the highlights of everything. So I watched the 2 England games before today. So I watched the Mexico and Norway games. The Norway game I watched in a bar, and then I watched the USA Belgium game. And those are the only games I watched. I skipped. I kind of wanted to watch the Spain France game just because I thought those 2 teams are just outrageously good.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a chance to watch it. And again, watched highlights. So I mean,
it is great it's great that England lost, and if they're going to lose to somebody, it would be the Argentinians. But because they would be insufferable bastards if they won the World Cup. They would be insufferable bastards.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Not that they aren't normally, but God forbid if they won the World Cup, Christ on a bike.
Yeah, I wanted. I mean, I know Chris, you had the Mexico shirt on. Was that last week that you had that on? Yeah. And I was 100% into that Mexico game. I mean, both my boys were like watching me watch the game, and they're like, why are you so into this? Like there was one shot at the end of the game where Mexico didn't look like they were going to create anything, even though they were England was down a man, and it was just a shot just trickled past the post, and I literally fell off the couch. And my son's like, really? We're doing this for a Mexico game? I'm like, I've seen you do it for Celtic, but so yeah, that was frustrating. And then I watched them against Norway, and I saw and Milky Moo, Christopher Ayer playing for Norway, and I don't know. I just thought it would have been a good story for them to beat England. So, but we waited for it today, and Argentina got it done at the last minute, which was I don't know. I mean, it seemed like they were on the front foot a lot, Argentina, from what I and I watched the highlights after the game that England scored and then just tried to park it pretty much for the rest of the game, and it didn't work out. And I saw somebody put in the comments about Thomas, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Tuchel, how do you pronounce the name? The guy I know used to manage Dortmund.
Thomas Chuckles
is, in the hot seat. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I saw seemingly it's been a successful World Cup in the United States in terms of people watching, getting great TV ratings, not probably over in Europe and stuff, but here too, like where it's comparable to like not even the US, just the US games, like the England-Mexico game, getting ratings comparable to like an a conference championship game in the NFL, which is just not necessarily a Super Bowl, but like massive ratings for games over here. And a lot of the games are sold out. So I guess in terms of that, it's been successful. But yeah, I've tried to boycott it as best I could. I stayed away as long as I could, but then I had to dive into it.
The advertisers have done well.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. Yeah, plus the hydration break, getting those extra commercials.
What the hell?
The hydration break commercials. What are you talking about?
Yeah, dude. If there's no way Kyoko comes back.
I don't think so either. I don't think so.
The Kyoko not Kyoko.
No, yeah. Because you know what? Like, I mean, you could kind of. I mean, not Callum Osman is kind of I would put him as a comparable kind of player to Kyoko for me, from what I've seen him in the 3 games that you've seen Callum Osman play, and he seems to be a guy they're going to keep for the season. I don't think he'll. There's no way Kyoko comes back.
We get some of the work rate. I would love the work rate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, I love the comments. That's true.
You'd love to see. You want to talk about hate figures? I don't like Harry Kane. I hate him.
Yeah, same.
I hate to be
great striker. But...
Well, he has to be a great striker, Sean. Look at the size of that head. It's like a Monahan turnip. That damn thing. How's he hold it up?
I will say the one frustrating thing, and I'll throw it to you guys. The one thing that I hate, and it's maybe I'm just too onto social media in a lot of cases, but the American fans who only watch soccer every 4 years and complain about the rules of soccer, like offsides, and like you saw the penalty yesterday in the Spain-France game. Like, well, what is the French defender supposed to do? Like, just
not kick him.
Like, not blindly
kick him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like, Chris. Do you pick up on any of that? I know you're not as big on social media these days, but like,
no, but I'll say this, right? I have seen some positive, whatever about football, soccer, whatever, this time around as opposed to 4 years ago when there wasn't as much.
Yeah.
There's some smaller, NLS or the other lower tier, the MLS Next or whatever, teams that are kind of picking back and are like, hey, what happens now that, the World Cup's almost ending? It's like, hey, we got 5 games left at your Chattanooga FC matches, like we're making a ticket offer. I mean, so, maybe there is some of that can go off of the back of it, but, to Dexter's point, or Smell the Glove, whoever said that earlier, is just, it's going to be disheartening, but, that's why all of the talking bullshit that happened after, before the last U.S. match, when everybody was like, well, if we're going to have I don't understand why they've got to miss the next game. Like, that's the fucking rules, man. Like, I don't know how else to fucking tell you this. Like, this is why that there is a disconnect in this country about football/soccer, right? Is that people that watch it consistently expect you to know the fucking rules of the game if you're going to watch it, right? Go be glad to help learn the rules of the game, follow your team, whatever, right? But the fact of the matter is that people make asinine comments because they don't watch the sport, and it's like it pisses enough of the American support, and I'm saying just like Americans that have been outside of America and have seen the world outside of American eyes and only shop at the Dollar General. Like that's the thing. That's the thing that people don't understand is like there's a lot of people within American culture that hate all of the things that everybody else in the world has been complaining about with the World Cup and this, that, and the other, and Americans this and da 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 da. We don't participate as much in international football because of this. And Slabber and Cabbage, I appreciate you tuning in week after week, but I'm not ZZ Top, man.
Well, I still love the beard.
Yeah, bro. It's like every time, like I get it, man. I got a beard. Great, dude.
Do you realize you made a Dollar General comment?
Bro, I'll drop another one. I mean, Anyway,
I did not have that on my coupon.
Yeah, well, it happens. It happens. I get.
I tell you what, boys. Listen, I think I remember in '94, and I think the education of how far it's come since '94, just '94, has really come on leaps and bounds. There is there still is that vein of the American who has essentially no clue about the game. One of those people I live with, so but I think it's there. But I think generally speaking, it's come on leaps and bounds. Positive. Now there's negatives of it. There's the soccer mom, the soccer mom who thinks all the soccer moms who think their child is messy. But other than that, I think that really the general knowledge in America has come on leaps and bounds since '94, which is again a long way away. But yeah,
does not wipe. As soon as they go fight and win, doesn't that wipe out all that knowledge?
Yeah.
Or I believe that we will win. Like as soon as you say I believe that we will win, all right, you don't have any knowledge. So
that's where Dino. If anything, honest to God, I tell you what, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. I hear that shit in like when my friend has a ticket to MLS, so I'll go and watch the MLS games, and that fan culture needs a damn. The chants are like, oh, they're not even funny.
It's horny as shit.
Oh my God, they're horrible. And that one is the worst. Oh. We get made fun of on the internet. I believe that we will. Oh God, that's horrible.
Come on, Seattle.
Yeah,
I can't. I just can't.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's definitely bad.
And I think to be fair, I think we all saw that when Celtic came to the U.S. 2 years ago.
Yeah,
especially when every little kid had 8 different names of a jersey. All the different kids in the family, different. It's just different. So that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. It's just different. I'm just glad it's over. I'm glad it's over, and we go back to what we were doing before.
Yeah.
It is grow. I mean, I don't think you can deny that the sport continues to grow here.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, the World Cup will only help that. Like whether we get and that's the other the other thing that's just maddening when you see the argument and it's like the Americans who are offended that the sport is more popular probably in the world than American sports are anywhere else is that well, if LeBron James or whatever name athlete who plays or NFL cornerback, if he started playing football, soccer when he was 5 years old, like we'd have the best team in the world. Like, but our best athletes play American football, play basketball, play baseball, whatever. But it goes beyond that.
Numerically, there's a truth to that. You know what I mean? Numerically, there's a truth to that. Is it? Can we say that LeBron's that guy? No. I mean, you have to look at now cornerbacks. Oh hell yeah, cornerbacks would be phenomenal. Running backs would be phenomenal. They would just a 6'7" dude who looks like Adonis isn't playing soccer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Leon Lett was a really good athlete. I'll tell you. Here's a funny story. I had a patient who actually was a high school quarterback who went and became a defensive end at Georgia, and then ended up playing in the NFL for 11 years in Cincinnati. Okay, he was the best athlete in the world in high school, and then they put money all over him, and food all over him, and clothes over, and they did in Georgia, and they turned him into a beast. And then he ended up being a defensive end in the NFL, someone who was the best athlete in the world. When you see people that can actually change like that, but he was 6'6", 6'7". Yeah. What 6'7" dude with size 14 feet play soccer?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like, yes, we have a lot of athletes, and they're like, that
somebody
guy's
you don't want to tackle.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not. I mean, maybe a goalkeeper. Maybe he could be a goalkeeper, but not the same. I mean, we already have the best goalkeepers in the world to do what we did.
As if I have a last nerve.
But I also think it's not. I wouldn't say it's not culture. I think we're 30 years or so, 20. We're a generation behind in terms of the mindset of being.
Probably more than that. More than that.
A soccer player, to see the game like a lot of those guys do, and that's what when everybody's comeback is always like, well, the greatest player in the world is 5'7", 160 pounds. So to say, a 6'3" you see a bunch of guys' names getting trotted out there as the example of the American who would be the most dominant soccer player ever.
Here's kind of what I go with, right? Is that if you watch the structures of the rest of the world, how football is played, the structure in the UK and in Scotland and throughout Europe, it's different than it is in Latin America, South America, Central America, and then like the US, right? So the MLS is a closed system. I can't emphasize that enough. It's a closed system, meaning that those teams, Columbus and Chicago and LA and Miami and Nashville and all these clubs that are in the MLS don't fear that they're going to get relegated. And what does that do? That creates a baseline where you can't get in, you can't get out, right? So you get players, and by all accounts, the MLS has cornered the markets on developing players where if you're within a certain radius, you are tied to that club, whether you live there and you want to be a fan of theirs or not, right? And until that mindset breaks down, the U.S. is always going to be behind in chasing the world of football. Right, yeah. Because there is you are not setting yourself up for enough competition within yourself, let alone whatever clubs people, find players at.
Chris, I tell you what, worse than that, brother. I think, and I heard some people talking about it, the loudmouth. I can't think of his name, but really and truly, what really needs to change is have a wholesale change is that the structure of how we do the game at the youth level. That play for play is I saw a guy said that that he lived in Bethesda, Maryland, and within 30 minutes of him in Bethesda, there were like 30 youth clubs. And that same guy lived in downtown DC, and there wasn't any. So you're not going around the density. It's becoming for lack of a better term, probably a rich kid sport. It's become lacrosse almost in a way. But I think the structure, the way the game's played, you look at, you got to listen to Henri, how they do things in France. The Clairefontaine setup is if you're good enough to play, then it's gonna be bankrolled. But it's a money making. That there's big clubs, and the big clubs want to win so they can brag and squeeze as much money out of mommy and daddy. But it doesn't seem like we don't develop those players. So I think the setup probably more than anything.
Yeah.
So we don't have. Is it Pulisic's not one of the top 50 players in the world? No. It's USA.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure Doc, you could speak to a lot of that. Like that'd probably be a whole nother show. We could probably
That'd be a whole nother show. A whole nother show. Here's the two sides to pay for play, right? Unless you're going to go ahead and enslave some people or make them indentured servants, you're going to have to pay a coach, which means someone's going to have to pay something.
Yeah, you got to get that.
You got to pay somebody.
Yeah.
Right. And the fields aren't free because you have to pay for them. Right. So there's a certain component to that which you have to pay for. The problem isn't that. I think the problem is more what Chris is talking about, that it is pay for play. I don't buy pay for play, mainly because even at my son's club, half the kids were on scholarship. As long as the parents went and worked at the snack bar, their kids played for free. So the rest of the whole pay for play thing is just, to me, is just chatter from a grassroots standpoint going up. And then when you get to MLS, everything else, MLS Next, if your kid's paying to play MLS Next, they're paying because they're sitting on the bench. The kids that are really, really good don't pay. So anyway, the reason why you have issues is because of density. The problem that you have I'll give you a great example in Myrtle Beach when my son played. There was no next level club. You had to drive 3 hours to Columbia. There was one in Charleston that closed down as part of the Battery, actually, that ended up closing down. And there was one in Wilmington, which is another 2.5 hours away. So if you want your kid to be in a situation where they're getting to that point where they're being seen at a certain level, you got to drive 3 or 4 hours. Like when Max was playing ODP, one Sunday a month, we were up at 6. We were in Columbia by 9:30. He practiced from 10 until 1, and then it was a 3-hour drive home. It was basically 9 to 5. And that was just play 1 weekend, to train 1 weekend a month with the Olympic Development Program. So, not that that's, once again, you paid, right? It was part of U.S. Soccer, you paid. And there were kids who actually had, free versions into that as well. So, their parents, applied and they got their kids for free. So, all that happens. The problem is density. And even then, if you're good enough, they'll find you to that extent. The question is, are we finding enough of those kids to go ahead and fill the spots? Now, you want to go to the next level. This may hurt some feelings, but I think you have to go ahead and put limits into who's playing college soccer next. You got some rosters that are, especially D2, where now you have problems with people going directly to D1 because D1 is so full. You got D2 and D2 and NAIA teams that are 90% internationals. Where do those kids go? You know what I mean? And then the Division 1 is another disaster as well as far as D1 soccer. But those are some issues that you really, if you want to go ahead and grow the game, then let's go ahead and do that. I mean, when my son played for University of Stirling, he was one of 3 kids that weren't from Scotland playing on that team, which was the best team, basically the best team in Scotland for university, right? The only 3 kids out from outside Scotland playing on the team. You can't tell me the best team in the U.S., the college team, or let's say the best 5 college teams in the U.S. I guarantee you don't have 3 kids starting from the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, I mean, we have to ask that question as well. What are we doing to go ahead and grow the game? Now, once again, Scotland's the size of South Carolina. They both have 3, 4, 5 million people. You have how many professional teams versus the 3 or 4 we have in South Carolina? So, I mean, we have that issue as well as far as professional teams that can go up down to what Chris is saying. And now you can't have a team in Myrtle Beach go ahead and build a following and then try and move up to go ahead and build, pull kids from the area to go and get better and better, move up and up, because that's now a caste system where you can't go up. So, I mean, there's a lot more to it than, I mean, I think the talking heads kind of, like to harp on pay for play because they've already made their money. Well, why don't just people coach for free? Well, that's not going to happen. These people, the insurance alone in the U.S. that you have to go ahead and have it, have it set up for a youth team is ridiculous. That does not, Lloyd's of London's not going to insure the team for free. So, I mean, all that stuff takes place. I think you need to find a place for them to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where your problem is, because once you get to the point where you're 8, 10, 11, 12, then you need a place to go. And if you have enough clubs in the area, then fine. But once you get past 12, 13, I mean, think about this in Scotland. For all the people that play in, and I'm not saying that this is, I just happen to know this because where Max is playing, but you get to the point where you're just like, okay, how many kids, I say kids, I'm almost 60, kids that are, people that are 20, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 25, 27, that are still playing organized, not just Sunday, but organized within the Lowland League and below, right? How many of those people play that have their kids and now bring those kids into that, and then their kids, and they have all these other teams that go with those other teams that are within the whole pyramid structure? You don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And until you get that reach, you're not going to get, regardless of, even if it was free, you're going to have even less, because the money's not going to stretch. So, I mean, you need the reach to be able to get there. We don't have that reach. And that's probably the biggest reason why we don't have the athletes in soccer that we do in football. You know what I mean? High school football, massive. High school soccer, not so massive. In fact, the best players don't even play high school soccer. Why? Because they're playing league. Because they're playing club football.
Oh, absolutely.
So, which is different from basketball.
Yeah.
Which is different from baseball. Which is different. I mean, you got high school kids playing that went to high school with my son that got drafted directly into major leagues, or not? I mean, into the major league system.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
No.
So,
dude, I know. Like, there's a
lot of differences. It's not just paper.
Yeah, I know some of my friends' kids are the same way. Like, where they don't even play for their high school soccer team. They just play for their club team, and that's what got them a college scholarship. And then they went on and played college. Got a full ride to play. It was like D2, I think they ended up playing in, but still they got a scholarship. Like,
yeah.
But never played for their high school team. Like, and that doesn't really seemingly happen in basketball.
And that's really, really sad. My son never was ever emotional about the game. Since he was 8 to the time he was a senior in high school, he's like, whatever. The only time, even when he was done his last game at Sterling Uni, he was like, yeah, whatever, it's done. Think so, the whole thing. The only time I ever saw him upset was when he lost his senior year in the state quarterfinals. That's the only time it was emotional for him, which I thought was the coolest thing ever, to see him with his teammates kind of like, oh, am I really upset? That was cool. After that, it was no big deal. I think there's a component to that kept him around a lot longer because he wanted that feeling again into other teams that you don't get. It becomes a business, and I think that's why we lose most of our kids in that realm of 18, 19, 20, because they're just like, I'm sick of this. I can't see the end, and there is no end, and I just don't care. And they basically burn out. There's no emotional attachment to it. They don't love the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's where that ends for us, because we took that love away and made it a pathway as compared to love of the game.
Right.
Amen to that.
Yeah, like I said, I think we could probably do an entire fucking show on this. I think Doc, you just like scratched the surface of it. You know what I mean? Like, and like
And by the way, let me talk about why Bobby's right though. It is a pay like when Max got a scholarship to go to Point Park to play NAI. He was a grad school transfer out of the College of Charleston. 3 years in that D1 program, graduates a year early, gets a full ride for a master's degree at Point Park in Pittsburgh. And this is what he says to me: "Hey, Dad, I got a scholarship. Does that pay for you soccer?" I'm like, "Bro, we're still 80% down. I don't care." For what we paid. I'm still 80 for whatever you're gonna get those 4 years, those 2 years of that program. I'm still 80% in the red for what I paid for.
It's good,
So,
but
that helps. Yep, that helps. And then anyway.
Yeah, we'll have to do that sometime. The
U.S. soccer conversation.
U.S. soccer youth.
And have you listened to one? Every country has a sort of discussion after they lose in the World Cup. What went wrong? What went I heard the USA. I heard Australia. I heard Norway, Scotland. But the best one was Brazil. There's been all the players become Protestants.
I saw that. I saw that. There was like an article like blaming Protestantism from Brazil on them.
They're all evangelicals now, and they suck because they're all, teetotalers or whatever. Where they're all womanizing and overweight and fat and Catholic. They were really good.
I'm not saying I resemble that, Mark, but I'm just saying that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but could you samba?
Depending how much have I had to drink.
I love that. I laughed so hard, and you've got to read the article. It's tongue in cheek, obviously.
I saw the headline. I didn't read the whole article,
but you got to read the article.
I was
really
cracking
funny.
up just to watch, seeing the headline of it. Let me throw up the one. I'll throw up this comment from Spell the Glove. And people are giving them shit for ditching the 49ers for whatever attachment they have to Rangers. But I would be the same way. If the Eagles got in bed with Rangers in any way, I'm done.
That's a tough one.
I could never. I'd be out.
Listen, you know what? Let's before we go, let's handle that. Is there for people that aren't from the US and listening to this, right? I wouldn't care about the New York Football Giants or the New York Jets or the Dallas Cowboys or the Eagles. You told me I could be a fan. If they took over, running a certain team that I didn't like, it would bother me not one bit to walk away.
No.
Not one bit. It wouldn't bother me at all.
If Rangers got in bed with the Yankees, no.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a hard one for you, Bobby.
I couldn't do it.
That would be tough, man. I know Kevin Munson would be rolling over in his grave.
I couldn't do it. They're everything terrible about humanity, man. Oh my God. No, I don't think that's a nightmare, isn't it?
That sounds like something Hal Steinbrenner would do, but thank God the Niners did. So
True indeed.
Yeah.
That's true.
Chris, being a college football fan, there's probably no chance of University of Georgia getting into bed with the Huns, but
I mean, yeah, that would. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've spent a lot of my life in Athens, Georgia, supporting the Dogs here, there, and everywhere, and that would bother me. But I mean, that's also kind of the difference in watching college ball as opposed to pulling for the NFL is that, for a number of places, I can't speak for every instance, but NFL was never an issue growing up. Like there was very few NFL like diehards that I woke up one day and I'm an Eagles fan or a I love the New York Giants or the 49ers or like
Even
I
the
don't.
Falcons for you, right?
Well, I mean, I guess it would have been the Falcons or it could have
Yeah.
been the Titans, maybe. But I never got into the NFL, and I think that there's most of the South, at least most of SEC country. It's not NFL, it's SEC. Like if you're in anywhere close to the state of Alabama, you're either Auburn or you're Alabama. You're not one or the other. Like it's divided like Glasgow is, right? Or Tennessee and Vanderbilt, or Florida, Georgia, or whatever. There's a lot more passion involved in college, and a lot of it's because it's not just football; it's all the sports, but it's also a university of supposed learning. So I don't know. But yeah, college.
There's also a family attachment to it, which I think is a Celtic idea as well, right? How close were you born to the stadium? Obviously, that's a big thing, right? Your family, everything else. But in the college thing, your family was there, or your cousins were there, or there's a personal attachment that's totally different from the NFL or Major League Baseball.
I'm a black sheep anyway, so like both of my parents went to UT Knoxville.
That's right.
So I'm a Georgia Bulldog by default. Because anyway, that's another story altogether. But anyway, you're 100% correct that like if your parent went to school at UT or UGA or Georgia Tech or wherever, there's a 100% chance you're going to grow up going to UT games and going to UGA games, and like you don't have a choice. This is we're Georgia fans here, and So yeah, you're spot on with that, Doc.
It makes Thanksgiving fun, by the way.
Yeah. It's interesting at least.
So I do realize smell the gloves pain, but that I mean honestly I'll say like I'm Celtic diehard more than anything. But
yes,
my second before last season was the Eagles, and they won the Super Bowl against the Chiefs 2 years ago, and I was almost more into that football game than I've ever been in a game in my life. And then I watched the Eagles go to the White House and celebrate with Donald Trump, and I didn't watch a second of them last season. So yeah, I can hold a grudge. And so yeah, I'm with you. Smell the glove. Maybe not on baseball is absolutely shite to watch because the Phillies have moved into my number 2 slot behind Celtic. So, but yeah, I mean, it's an interesting. I mean, go back to the youth soccer, and that would be probably a good show for us to do at some point, is to kind of dig into the American soccer system and how it works. Because I mean, you're seeing more of a connection to Celtic now in the last couple of years with like we've had American players, which we never had in the past. We have Carter Vickers and Trusty, over the last few years. So I don't know. We'll have to look into that. And Dr. J, you'll definitely in on that one because you're going to have
I have a few opinions.
With the Max. I mean, Max, like being involved in it, and I think that'll be interesting. So we'll try to do that sometimes. If
we want no one else to watch, just us talking about
it. Yeah, I mean, we don't care.
No one watches anyway.
Like Milky Moo and Slabbering Cabbage will be in there, and they're with us every week, so we can bore them for 1 week. But
there you go.
I wanted to throw up, and this one of the guys we've had on the show, and we met him in Philly at the Fairley last year. Sean Duff from Belfast, and he lives in Long Island now. One of his pals having a cancer battle right now. Oh, shit, I missed it. So I'm just going to throw up his GoFundMe that he put up. I donated to it the other day. And if you can, and just share it. I just did a search on GoFundMe and the Rally for Desi thing there, and it'll, get you in there. But anytime I see shit like that, like, because it's, young guy, he's a bartender on Long Island, experiencing that, there's got to be impossible for the family. I think he's trying to, continue working while he's going through chemo treatments for lymphoma. So if you can, throw a donation out to him, and I think that'd be great. But
Good stuff.
Because we got our own little Celtic world family here that we've been growing over the last year or so. I think, we've been doing the show for over a year now, Chris, right?
Nice.
Like,
That's nice.
this is our
Stuff.
55th episode, I think we've done. So, which is fucking crazy.
It's amazing.
But yeah, so I think we'll wrap up there. We've gone close to 2 hours tonight. Thanks, Bobby, for being our latest addition ever to the podcast.
No problem. Anytime, Sean. I love talking to you, and I love you and Sean, or you and Chris. So anytime, brother. Anytime.
Yeah, so we appreciate it, and it's great having the four guys on here. So I think, and just getting, I love just getting to talk to all my Celtic pals. So Dr. J and Bobby, you're two of the best. So Doc, thank you again for coming on, and Chris, as always great chatting with you.
Likewise. It's always great.
Thank you to everyone in the comments. The comments are great, and it's like I said, it's a lot of those guys. You guys are with us every week, so we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So we'll be back next week, and we have no idea who we're having on next week. So
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
If you can, you know who it won't be. It won't be a new signing.
Dude, I hope we have to have a new signing to talk about.
Yeah.
Because then it just gets negative. I don't want to be negative every week. I fucking hate being negative every week. But but I digress. If you can, give a like and subscribe to the channel, to help you find us every week. We're on this time mostly every week. Sometimes we'll mix it up and throw it on a Thursday if if the schedule works out better. But it just helps you find us. So, give a like and subscribe. And that's about it. So cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for coming on tonight. Hail, hail. And wewe'll see you guys next week.
Check it out.